சன் ஜேஜஸ் ஆதி பொதுஅறிவு சார்ந்த ஒரு யூடியூப் சேனலாகும். இந்த பாடத்திற்கான கேள்வி பதிலை டிஸ்கிரிப்ஷன் பாக்ஸில் கொடுத்துள்ளேன், சரிபார்த்துக் கொள்ளவும். அத்துடன் எனது சேனல்களின் இணைப்பும் உள்ளது.
1. Stability of the government is assured in 1. Parliamentary form of government. 2. Presidential form of government. 3. Plural executive system. 4. Direction democracy. 2. According to the Indian Constitution, the vacancy in the office of the President of India shall be filled within 1. 1 month, 2. 6 months, 3. 3 months, 4. 1 year, 3. In Indian Republic, the real executive authority rests with the 1. Prime Minister, 2. President, 3. Bureaucrats, 4. Council of Ministers, 4. Parliamentary form of government is also known as 1. Responsive government, 2. Responsible government, 3. Federal government, 4. Presidential government, 5. The minimum age of the member of Rajya Sabha is 1. 25 years, 2. 21 years, 3. 30 years, 4. 35 years, 4. French Constitution, 6. Who among the following are not appointed by the President of India? 1. Governors of states, 2. Chief Justice and Judges of, 3. The people of India, 4. The President, 7. What is the period within which a proclamation of national emergency made by the President is to be placed before each House of the Parliament for approval? 1. Within 1 month, 2. Within 2 months, 3. Within 4 months, 4. Within 6 months, 8. A money bill passed by the Lok Sabha is deemed to have been passed by the Rajya Sabha also when no action is taken by the upper house within 1. 10 days, 2. 14 days, 3. 20 days, 4. 30 days, 9. What can be the maximum interval between two sessions of Parliament? 1. 3 months, 2. 4 months, 3. 6 months, 4. 9 months, 10. The maximum permissible gap between two sessions of the Parliament is 1. 3 months, 2. 4 months, 3. 5 months, 4. 6 months, 11. Who among the following decides if a particular bill is a money bill or not? 1. President, 2. Speaker of Lok Sabha, 3. Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 4. Finance Minister, 12. Which of the following standing committees of Parliament has no MP from Rajya Sabha? 1. Public Accounts Committee, 2. Estimates Committee, 3. Committee on Public Undertakings, 4. Committee on Government Assurances, 13. How are legislative excesses of Parliament and assemblies checked? 1. Intervention from President/Governor, 2. No confidence motions, 3. Judicial review, 4. General elections, 14. No money bill can be introduced in the Lok Sabha without the prior approval of the 1. Vice President, 2. President, 3. Prime Minister, 4. Finance Minister, 15. Rajya Sabha enjoys more powers than the Lok Sabha in the case of 1. Money bills, 2. Non-money bills, 3. Setting up of new All India services, 4. Amendment of the Constitution, 16. Who is competent to dissolve the Rajya Sabha? 1. The Chairman, Rajya Sabha, 2. The President, 3. The Joint Session of Parliament, 4. None of these, 17. Point out which from the following is not a right enumerated in the Constitution of India but has been articulated by the Supreme Court to be a fundamental right. 1. Right to privacy, 2. Equality before law, 3. Abolition of untouchability, 4. Right to form associations or unions, 18. Which of the following standing committees of Parliament has no MP from Rajya Sabha? 1. Public Accounts Committee, 2. Estimates Committee, 3. Committee on Public Undertakings, 4. Committee on Government Assurances, 19. From which constitution of the world, the Indian Constitution has adopted the concept of directive principles of state policy? 1. Ireland, 2. USA, 3. Canada, 4. Australia. Adds Tanks and Wells, 20. The residuary powers, not mentioned in the Union, State, or concurrent lists of the Constitution, are vested in 1. President of India, 2. Both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, 3. State Legislature, 4. Lok Sabha, 21. What is the composition of the Electoral College for the election of Vice President of India? 1. Elected members of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and State Legislative Assemblies, 2. Elected members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, 3. Members of both Houses of Parliament, 4. Members of Rajya Sabha only, 22. The function of Pro-Tem Speaker is to 1. Conduct the proceedings of the House in the absence of the Speaker, 2. Officiate as Speaker when a Speaker is unlikely to be elected, 3. Swearing in members and hold charge till a regular Speaker is elected, 4. Check if the election certificates of members are in order, 23. Who among the following presides over the Lok Sabha in the absence of Speaker or Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha? 1. A member appointed by the President. 2. A member nominated by the members of the Parliament present in the House. 3. A person from the panel formed by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. 4. A senior-most member of the House. 24. Indian Parliament includes 1. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, 2. Only Lok Sabha, 3. President and Lok Sabha, 4. President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, 25. What is the minimum age prescribed for becoming a member of Rajya Sabha? 1. 25 years, 2. 21 years, 3. 30 years, 4. 35 years, 26. The presidential government operates on the principle of 1. Division of powers between center and states, 2. Centralization of powers, 3. Balance of powers, 4. Separation of powers, 27. What is the maximum time interval permitted between two sessions of Parliament? 1. 4 months, 2. 6 months, 3. 8 months, 4. 9 months, 28. The item education belongs to the 1. Union list, 2. State list, 3. Concurrent list, 4. Residuary subjects, 29. What is the maximum number of the elected members of Rajya Sabha? 1. 250, 2. 238, 3. 245, 4. 248, 30. The joint session of the two Houses of Parliament is convened, 1. Only in case of national emergency, 2. When a bill passed by one House is rejected by the other House, 3. Taxes approved by one House are rejected by the other House, 4. Both, 2. And 3. 31. The President's rule is imposed on a state in India, when 1. The state cabinet of ministers resigns, 2. The governor of the state dies, 3. The elections are announced, 4. There is a constitutional breakdown, 32. In Indian Parliament, a bill may be sent to a select committee, 1. After the first reading, 2. After the second reading, 3. After general discussion during second reading, 4. At any stage at the discretion of the Speaker, 33. Where is the constitutional power located enabling the central government to legislate on cow slaughter? 1. Entry 17, List 3 in Schedule 7 Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, 2. Residuary powers under Art. 248, 3. Emergency powers, 4. Art. 48 in the Directive Principles, 34. The salaries and allowances payable to the members of the Parliament are decided by the 1. President, 2. Cabinet, 3. Parliament, 4. Finance Commission, 35. The authority to prorogue the two houses of the Parliament rests with the 1. President, 2. Vice President, 3. Prime Minister, 4. Speaker, 36. Who is the competent to dissolve the Parliament? 1. The President, 2. The Cabinet with the concurrence of the Leader of the Opposition, 3. By resolution in both Houses of Parliament, 4. None of these, 37. The Secretary-General of the Lok Sabha is the chief of its secretariat and is, 1. Elected by the Lok Sabha, 2. Elected by both Houses of Parliament, 3. Appointed by the Speaker, 4. Appointed by the President, 38. When was 0 hour introduced in the parliamentary affairs in India? 1. 1952, 2. 1962, 3. 1972, 4. 1982, 39. The maximum number of members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has been fixed by the Constitution of India respectively as 1. 500 and 250, 2. 525 and 270, 3. 537 and 275, 4. 545 and 250, 40. In order to be recognized as an official opposition group in the parliament, how many seats should it have? 1. 1/3 RD of the total strength, 2. 1/4 TH of the total strength, 3. 1/6 TH of the total strength, 4. 1/10 TH of the total strength, 41. What is the maximum time interval permissible between two successive sessions of the Parliament? 1. 4 months, 2. 6 months, 3. 8 months, 4. 9 months, 42. What is the minimum age laid down for a candidate to seek election to the Lok Sabha? 1. 18 years, 2. 21 years, 3. 25 years, 4. 30 years, 43. Which of the following taxes is exclusively and totally assigned to the central government by the Constitution? 1. Estate duty, 2. Sales tax, 3. Taxes on railway fares and freights, 4. Corporation tax, 44. When the offices of both the President and Vice President of India are vacant, who will discharge their functions? 1. Prime Minister, 2. Chief Minister, 3. Chief Justice of India, 4. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha, 45. Who is eligible to cast the deciding vote over a bill in a joint parliamentary session? 1. Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, 2. Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, 3. Speaker of Lok Sabha, 4. Prime Minister, 46. Representation of any state in Rajya Sabha is according to 1. Area of the state, 2. Population of the state, 3. Number of representatives in Lok Sabha from the state, 4. Fixed number of candidates from each state, 47. The Electoral College that elects the President of India consists of 1. Elected members of all the state legislatures, 2. Members of the Lok Sabha and state assemblies, 3. Elected members of the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and state assemblies, 4. Elected members of the Rajya Sabha and state legislatures, 48. The Constitution of India lays down that the two houses of Parliament must be summoned at least 1. 4 times a year, 2. Thrice a year, 3. Twice a year, 4. Once a year, 49. The Vice President of India is also the 1. Speaker of Lok Sabha, 2. Ex officio Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 3. Head of the state, 4. Head of the government, 50. The President of the Union of India has the same constitutional authority as the 1. British monarch, 2. President of USA, 3. President of Pakistan, 4. President of France, 51. Which organ is the custodian of the national purse? 1. Executive, 2. Judiciary, 3. Legislature, 4. Civil servants, 52. Who can be the member of the Rajya Sabha but can speak both in Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha? 1. The Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. 2. Leader of the House in the Rajya Sabha. 3. Nominated members of the Rajya Sabha. 4. Ministers who are members of the Rajya Sabha. 53. What are the residuary powers? 1. Powers which are enumerated in the state list. 2. Powers which are included in the union list. 3. Powers which are enumerated in the concurrent list. 4. Powers which are not mentioned in any of the lists. 54. How many members of the Rajya Sabha are nominated by the President? 1. 5, 2, 12, 3, 1/5 of the total members, 4, 10, audit, 55. Which of the following is not a tool of legislative control over administration in India? 1. Dissolution of House. 2. Resolutions. 3. Questions. 4. No confidence motion. 56. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the first President of India by 1. Electoral College. 2. People of India. 3. Constituent Assembly. 4. Parliament. 57. The members of Estimates Committee are 1. Elected from Lok Sabha only. 2. Elected from Rajya Sabha only. 3. Elected from both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. 4. Nominated by the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. 58. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha is elected by the 1. President. 2. Prime Minister. 3. Members of both Houses of Parliament. 4. Members of Lok Sabha. 59. The President of India is elected by 1. Members of both Houses of Parliament. 2. Members of both Houses of Parliament and of state legislatures. 3. Members of both Houses of Parliament and of state legislative assemblies. 4. Elected members of both Houses of Parliament and elected members of state legislative assemblies. 60. A motion moved by a member in a legislature when it is desired to have a discussion on a matter of urgent public importance is called 1. Adjournment motion. 2. No confidence motion. 3. Cut motion. 4. None of these. 61. No government expenditure can be incurred in India except with the sanction of 1. The Parliament. 2. The Prime Minister. 3. The President. 4. The Supreme Court. 62. The majority of the provisions of the Indian Constitution can be amended, 1. By the state legislatures acting together, 2. By the Parliament alone, 3. With the joint approval of the Parliament and state legislatures, 4. Only on ratification by half of the states. 63. In our Constitution, economic planning is included in 1. Union list, 2. State list, 3. Concurrent list, 4. Not any specified list. 64. A candidate, to become a member of the Rajya Sabha, should not be less than 1. 21 years of age, 2. 25 years of age, 3. 30 years of age, 4. 32 years of age. 65. The Union Parliament consists of 1. The President of India, 2. The Council of States, Rajya Sabha, 3. The House of the People, Lok Sabha, 4. All of the above. 66. The maximum strength of the elected members of the House of the People, Lok Sabha, is 1. 530, 2. 545, 3. 540, 4. 550, 67. How many readings does a non-money bill have in each House of the Parliament? 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 1, 68. By which bill does the government propose collection of revenues for a year? 1. Economic Bill, 2. Finance Bill, 3. Supplementary Bill, 4. None of the above. 69. The Indian Parliament is competent to enact law on a state subject if 1. Emergency under Article 352 is in operation, 2. All the state assemblies of the country make such a request, 3. the President sends such a message to Parliament. 4. None of these. 70. The President of India enjoys emergency powers of 1. 4 types, 2. 2 types, 3. 5 types, 4. 3 types. 71. The interval between two sessions of either House of Parliament should not exceed 1. 3 months, 2. 6 months, 3. 9 months, 4. 12 months. 72. The Vice President of India is elected by 1. The members of the Parliament, 2. The members of the Rajya Sabha, 3. The elected members of the Parliament, 4. The members of the Parliament and state legislatures. 73. A bill referred to a joint sitting of the two houses of the Parliament is required to be passed by 1. A simple majority of the members present, 2. Absolute majority of the total membership, 3. RD majority of the members present, 4. TH majority of the members present. 74. Who is the constitutional head of the Government of India? 1. President, 2. Prime Minister, 3. Chief Justice of India, 4. Attorney General. 75. Who certifies a bill to be a money bill in India? 1. Finance Minister, 2. President, 3. Speaker of the Lok Sabha, 4. Prime Minister. 76. The Rajya Sabha is dissolved after 1. Every 5 years, 2. Every 6 years, 3. On the advice of the Prime Minister, 4. None of the above. 77. In case the President wishes to resign, to whom he is to address his resignation letter? 1. Chief Justice of India, 2. Secretary of Lok Sabha, 3. Vice President, 4. Prime Minister. 78. Which of the following are Financial Committee of Parliament in India? I. Public Accounts Committee, 2. Estimates Committee, 3. Committee on Public Undertakings, 1. I and 3, 2. I and 2, 3. 2 and 3, 4. I, 2 and 3. 79. The Speaker's vote in the Lok Sabha is called 1. Casting vote, 2. Sound vote, 3. Direct vote, 4. Indirect vote. 80. The Council of Ministers does not include 1. Cabinet Ministers, 2. Ministers of State, 3. Cabinet Secretary, 4. Ministers without portfolio. 81. Although Union List, State List, and Concurrent List cover the entire legislative business, yet there may be an item not mentioned anywhere. Who will legislate on that item? 1. Parliament only, 2. State legislature only, 3. Both, 1. And, 2. 4. Neither, 1. Nor, 2. 82. The most important feature of the Indian Parliament is that, 1. It is the union legislature in India, 2. It also comprises the President, 3. It is bicameral in nature, 4. The upper house of the Parliament is never dissolved. 83. How many times the President of India can seek re-election to his post? 1. Once, 2. 2 times, 3. 3 times, 4. Any number of times. 84. Match list I with list 2 and select the correct answer using the code given below the lists. List I, A Member of Parliament, B President, C Vice President, D Speaker. List 2. 1. Elected by an electoral college. 2. Elected by the Parliament. 3. Elected by the Lok Sabha. 4. Elected by adult voting. Code ABCD 1. 1 2 3 4, 2, 2 3 4 1, 3, 3 4 1 2, 4, 4 1 2 3. 85. Which of the following appointments is not made by the President of India? 1. Speaker of the Lok Sabha, 2. Chief Justice of India, 3. Chief of Air Staff, 4. Chief of Army. 86. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs has recently raised the emoluments of the President, the Vice President and the Governors. The emolument payable to the President has been raised to 1. 1.00 rupees lakh from 50,000 rupees per month, 2. 1.50 rupees lakh from 50,000 rupees per month, 3. 1.75 rupees lakh from 75,000 rupees per month, 4. 2 rupees lakh from 1.00 rupees lakh per month, 87. What is the tenure of the Prime Minister of India? 1. Conterminous with the tenure of the Lok Sabha, 2. Conterminous with the tenure of the President, 3. As long as he enjoys the support of a majority in the Lok Sabha, 4. 5 years, 88. Which of the following is true regarding no confidence motion in the Parliament? A. There is no mention of it in the Constitution. B. A period of 6 months must lapse between the introduction of one no confidence motion and another. C. At least 100 persons must support such a motion before it is introduced in the House. D. It can be introduced in the Lok Sabha only. 1. B and D, 2. A, B, C and D, 3. A, B and C, 4. A and D, 89. Who held the office of the Vice President of India for 2 consecutive terms? 1. Drive S. Radhakrishnan, 2. Mr. R. Venkatraman, 3. Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, 4. Mr. V. V. Giri, 90. When there is a vacancy in the office of the President and the Vice President at the same time, the office is held temporarily by 1. A person nominated by both the Houses of Parliament, 2. The Speaker of Lok Sabha, 3. The Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 4. The Chief Justice of India, 91. The Parliamentary Committee which scrutinizes the report of the Controller and Auditor General of India is 1. Estimates Committee, 2. Select Committee, 3. Public Accounts Committee, 4. None of these, 92. The Prime Minister of India is 1. Elected, 2. Appointed, 3. Nominated, 4. Selected, 93. Which is not an All India service? 1. Indian Administration Service, 2. Indian Police Service, 3. Indian Foreign Service, 4. Indian Forest Service, 94. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha has to address his/her letter of resignation to 1. Prime Minister of India, 2. President of India, 3. Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, 4. Minister of Parliamentary Affairs, 95. A presidential ordinance can remain in force, 1. For 3 months, 2. For 6 months, 3. For 9 months, 4. Indefinitely, 96. How many members of the Anglo-Indian community can be nominated by the President of India to the Parliament? 1. 1, 2, 2, 3, 5, 4, 8, 97. Who can initiate impeachment of the President? 1. 1/4 members of either House of Parliament, 2. Half of the members of either House of Parliament, 3. Half of the state legislatures, 4. 1/3 members of any state legislature, 98. What can the President do if a state fails to comply with the directives of the central government? 1. He can dissolve state legislature and order fresh elections, 2. He can declare the breakdown of constitutional machinery in the state and assume responsibility for the governance of the state, 3. He can send paramilitary forces to the state to secure compliance, 4. Any of the above, 99. The declaration of constitutional emergency in an Indian state has to be approved by the Parliament within a period of 1. 2 months, 2. 4 months, 3. 6 months, 4. 12 months, 100. The number of subjects in the Union list of the Indian Constitution is 1. 47, 2. 66, 3. 97, 4. 100, 101. How many members of the Rajya Sabha retire from the House every 2 years? 1. 1/6 of the total members, 2. 1/3 of the total members, 3. 1/12 of the total members, 4. 5/6 of the total members, 102. Evaluate the following statements. A. the President of India can be impeached by the Indian Parliament. B. The President of India can be removed by the Indian Parliament only with the approval of the Chief Justice of India. 1. A is correct but B is not correct. 2. B is correct but A is not correct. 3. Both are correct. 4. Both are incorrect. 103. How many times was the term of the Lok Sabha extended up to 6 years? 1. Once. 2. Twice. 3. Thrice. 4. Never. 104. Among the tax revenues of the Union government, the most important sources: 1. Income tax, 2. Customs duty, 3. Corporation tax, 4. Union excise duties. 105. What is the maximum strength prescribed for state legislative assemblies? 1. 350, 2. 600, 3. 500, 4. 750, 106. If the Anglo-Indian community does not get adequate representation in the Lok Sabha, 2 members of the community can be nominated by the 1. Prime Minister, 2. President, 3. Speaker, 4. President in consultation with the Parliament. 107. For the election of President of India, a citizen should have completed the age of 1. 25 years, 2. 30 years, 3. 35 years, 4. 18 years. 108. A member of Parliament will lose his membership of Parliament if he is continuously absent from sessions for 1. 45 days, 2. 60 days, 3. 90 days, 4. 365 days. 109. In India, the residuary powers are vested with 1. Union government, 2. State government, 3. Both the union government and the state government, 4. Local government. 110. Which innovative discussion process is introduced by the Indian Parliament to the world parliamentary systems? 1. Question hour, 2. Zero hour, 3. Resolutions, 4. Presidential speech. 111. Indian Parliament means 1. Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, 2. Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, Prime Minister, 3. President of India, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, 4. President of India, Vice President of India, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. 112. Which one of the following is the popularly elected House of the Indian Parliament? 1. Rajya Sabha, 2. Lok Sabha, 3. Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha, 4. None of the above. 113. Which one of the following methods is used to ascertain the public opinion on important legislation? 1. Initiative, 2. Recall, 3. Referendum, 4. None of the above. 114. The final authority to interpret our Constitution is the 1. President, 2. Parliament, 3. Prime Minister, 4. Supreme Court. 115. The Parliament can legislate on subjects given in the Union list only in consultation with the state government for the state of 1. Assam, 2. Rajasthan, 3. Jammu and Kashmir, 4. Kerala. 116. One of the following is a part of executive. Find out: 1. Member of Legislative Council, 2. Member of Rajya Sabha, 3. Chief Justice of Supreme Court, 4. Sub-Inspector of Police. 117. The voting age in India was lowered from 21 years to 18 years through 1. Presidential Ordinance, 2. Constitutional Amendment, 3. Executive Order, 4. Parliamentary Legislation. 118. Indian Constitution has divided the powers and function of the state into 1. 2 lists, 2. 3 lists, 3. 4 lists, 4. 5 lists. 119. The President of India can nominate how many members from the Anglo-Indian community to the Lok Sabha? 1. 2, 2, 5, 3, 10, 4, 12, 120. A joint sitting of the two houses of Indian Parliament is presided over by the 1. President of India, 2. Vice President of India, 3. Speaker of the Lok Sabha, 4. Attorney General of India, 121. On the subjects mentioned in the concurrent list, laws may be enacted by the 1. States and the Union, 2. Union alone, 3. States alone, 4. States and the Union territories, 122. What is the maximum number of starred questions that can be asked in Lok Sabha on a particular day? 1. 15, 2, 20, 3, 25, 4, without limit, 123. Rajya Sabha being a permanent house, 1. 1/3 of its members retire every 2 years, 2. 1/2 of its members retire every 3 years, 3. 1/5 of its members retire every year, 4. 1/6 of its members retire every year, 124. The joint session of both the Houses of Parliament is summoned by 1. Speaker of the Lok Sabha, 2. President, 3. Prime Minister, 4. Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 125. How many members of the Anglo-Indian community may be nominated by the President in the Lok Sabha? 1. 4, 2, 2, 3, any number, 4, only 1, 126. Who is referred to as the Supreme Commander of Forces in India? 1. General of the Army, 2. Defense Minister, 3. President, 4. Field Marshal, 127. Which item out of the following is contained in the concurrent list? 1. Trade unions, 2. Agriculture, 3. Tolls, 4. Markets and fairs, 128. The residuary powers of the Indian Union are, 1. Vested with the centre, 2. Vested with the states, 3. There are no residuary powers, 4. They are distributed between the centre and the states. 129. The maximum number of nominate members to the Rajya Sabha are, 1. 10, 2, 12, 3, 14, 4, 15, 130. 1/3 of the members of the Rajya Sabha retire, 1. Every year, 2. Every 2 years, 3. Every 3 years, 4. Every 4 years, 131. The Vice President of India can be removed by the 1. President on the advice of Council of Ministers, 2. Lok Sabha with the consent of the President, 3. Rajya Sabha with the concurrence of Lok Sabha, 4. Rajya Sabha with the concurrence of the President, 132. A midterm poll is conducted when, 1. The Lok Sabha is dissolved before completion of its term, 2. An elected member resigns from his seat, 3. There are discrepancies in voting, 4. All MPs of a political party resign, 133. A proclamation of emergency caused by war or external aggression must be approved by both the Houses of Parliament within 1. 15 days, 2. 1 month, 3. 2 months, 4. 3 months, 134. Which of the following is not a charged expenditure on the Consolidated Fund of India? 1. Expenditure on 5-year plans, 2. Expenditure on the chairman and members of the UPSC, 3. Expenditure on the judges of the Supreme Court, 4. Debt charges of the Government of India, 135. The President of India addresses both Houses of Parliament assembled together at the commencement of the first session, 1. Of each year, 2. After each general election to the House of the People, 3. Both 1 and 2, 4. Neither 1 nor 2, 136. Implementing laws is the function of 1. Executive, 2. Legislature, 3. Judiciary, 4. Cabinet, 137. Education is included in which of the following lists? 1. Central list, 2. State list, 3. concurrent list, 4, local list, 138. Can a person who is not a member of parliament be appointed as a minister? 1. No. 2. Yes. 3. Yes, provided the parliament approves of such an appointment. 4. Yes, but he has to become a member of parliament within 6 months of his appointment. 139. Under which of the following situations can Rajya Sabha be dissolved? 1. When financial emergency is declared in the country. 2. When emergency is declared due to failure of constitutional machinery. 3. Both, 1, and 2, 4, none of these, 140. Who can legislate on those residual matters which are not mentioned in central/state/concurrent lists? 1. State legislatures exclusively, 2. Parliament alone, 3. Parliament after state legislatures concur, 4. Parliament or state legislatures as adjudicated by the Supreme Court, 141. The salary of the members of Parliament is decided by 1. The Parliament, 2. The Central Cabinet, 3. The President, 4. The Speaker, 142. Who held the office of the Vice President of India for 2 full terms? 1. S. Radhakrishnan, 2. V. V. Giri, 3. B. D. Jatti, 4. M. Hydayatullah, 143. What is the correct order of succession, earlier to later, among the following Presidents of India? A. Dr. Zakir Hussain, B. Drive S. Radhakrishnan, C. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmed, D. V. V. Giri, 1. ACDA, 2. CBDA, 3. DABC, 4. BADC, 144. If the Speaker of Lok Sabha intends to vacate his office before the expiry of his term, he sends his resignation to 1. Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 2. Leader of the House, Lok Sabha, 3. Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, 4. President of India, 145. The Parliament enjoys the exclusive right to legislate on the subjects contained in 1. The Union List, 2. The Concurrent List, 3. The State List, 4. Both, 1, and 2, 146. A bill is certified as money bill in Lok Sabha by 1. The President, 2. The Finance Minister, 3. The Prime Minister, 4. The Speaker, 147. When the Vice President officiates as President of India, he draws the salary of 1. Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 2. President, 3. Member of Parliament, 4. Both, 1, and 2, 148. Who presides over the joint sitting of the Parliament in India? 1. The person elected by both the houses, 2. The Chairman of the Council, 3. The Speaker, Lok Sabha, 4. The Deputy Speaker, Lok Sabha, 149. The right to nominate members to the Rajya Sabha rests with 1. The President, 2. The Vice President, 3. The Judiciary, 4. The Lok Sabha, 150. The minimum age for a person to seek election to Lok Sabha is 1. 21 years, 2. 25 years, 3. 30 years, 4. 35 years, 151. The power to create or abolish the upper house of the state legislature belongs to the 1. Governor, 2. Parliament, 3. High Court, 4. State legislature, 152. Which type of emergency has not been declared so far in India? 1. Internal emergency caused due to internal disturbances, 2. External emergency caused due to external threat, 3. State emergency, caused due to failure of constitutional machinery in the states, 4. Financial emergency, 153. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha enjoys 1. No right to vote in general circumstances, 2. The right to vote only in case of a tie, 3. The right to vote like other members of the House, 4. the right to vote only once during the term of the House, 154. During financial emergency, all money bills passed by the state legislature are to be reserved for the consideration of the 1. Governor, 2. Prime Minister, 3. Parliament, 4. President, 155. The Committee on Subordinate Legislation deals with 1. Delegated legislation, 2. Financial legislation, 3. Municipal legislation, 4. State legislation, 156. Rajya Sabha has no role in 1. The election of the Vice President, 2. The election of the Speaker, 3. The impeachment of the President, 4. Removal of the judges of the Supreme Court, 157. When the posts of both the President and the Vice President are vacant, who among the following officiates as President? 1. The Chief Justice of Supreme Court, 2. The Lieutenant Governor of, 3. The Speaker of Lok Sabha, 4. The Prime Minister, 158. The policy that deals with the tax and expenditure policies of the government is called 1. Monetary policy, 2. Fiscal policy, 3. Credit policy, 4. Budgetary policy, 159. Delimitation of the Lok Sabha constituencies was last done in the year 1. 1970, 2. 1973, 3. 1976, 4. 1977, 160. If the Speaker of Lok Sabha wishes to tender his resignation, he has to address his letter to 1. The President of India, 2. The Deputy Speaker, 3. The Prime Minister, 4. The Cabinet, 161. Money bills can be introduced in the Lok Sabha with prior permission of the 1. President, 2. Prime Minister, 3. Speaker, 4. Cabinet, 162. The President of India who held office for 2 terms was 1. S. Radhakrishnan, 2. K.R. Narayanan, 3. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, 4. Baba Rajendra Prasad, 163. Who nominates persons for various parliamentary delegation to foreign countries? 1. The Speaker of Lok Sabha, 2. The Prime Minister, 3. The President, 4. The Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 164. Which one of the following committees does not consist of any member from the Rajya Sabha? 1. Estimates Committee, 2. Public Accounts Committee, 3. Public Grievance Committee, 4. Committee on Public Undertakings, 165. A joint sitting of both Houses of Parliament may be convened to consider a bill which was passed by one House and kept pending by the other for 1. 4 months, 2. 6 months, 3. 1 year, 4. 2 years, 166. Who will administer the oath of office to the person who is to take over as President? 1. The Chief Election Commissioner, 2. The Chief Justice of India, 3. The outgoing President, 4. The Vice President, 167. The President of the India is 1. The Head of the State, 3. R. Venkatraman, 4. Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, 168. When a constitutional amendment bill goes to the President, he 1. Can withhold his assent, 2. Can return it to the Parliament for reconsideration, 3. Can delay it for not more than 6 months, 4. Is bound to give his assent, 169. Which one of the following Vice President resigned from his office to contest for the office of the President? 1. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, 2. V. Giri, 3. R. Venkatraman, 4. Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma, 170. How many persons can be nominated by the President to the Rajya Sabha from among those who have distinguished themselves in art, literature, social service, etc.? 1. None, 2. 4, 3, 8, 4, 12, 171. What is the term of a member of the Rajya Sabha? 1. 3 years, 2. 4 years, 3, 5 years, 4, 6 years, 172. The Vice President is the ex officio chairman of the 1. Rajya Sabha, 2. Lok Sabha, 3. Planning Commission, 4. National Development Council, 173. According to the Indian Constitution, the ministers shall hold office during the pleasure of the 1. President of India, 2. Prime Minister of India, 3. Parliament, 4. Supreme Court, 174. The Parliament consists of 1. President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, 2. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, 3. Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, 4. Vidhan Sabha, Vidhan Parishad and Lok Sabha, 175. Who decides whether a bill is a money bill or not? 1. President, 2. Prime Minister, 3. Finance Minister, 4. Speaker of the Lok Sabha, 176. How many types of emergencies are envisaged by the Constitution? 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 177. Who calls the joint session of the two houses of the Parliament? 1. The President, 2. The Prime Minister, 3. The Lok Sabha Speaker, 4. The Vice President, 178. No confidence motion against the Union Council of Ministers can be initiated, 1. In the Rajya Sabha only, 2. In the Lok Sabha only, 3. Both in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, 4. In the state assemblies, 179. What is the maximum age limit prescribed for the post of the President of India? 1. 58 years, 2. 60 years, 3. 62 years, 4. There is no maximum age limit, 180. What is quorum required for convening the Lok Sabha? 1. 1/6, 2. 1/8, 3. 1/10, 4. 1/5, 181. In the parliamentary form of government he is the first among equal. Who is he? 1. President, 2. Prime Minister, 3. Leader of Opposition, 4. Speaker of Lower House, 182. The chairman of the Public Accounts Committee in the Indian Parliament is 1. The Leader of Opposition Party, 2. The Speaker of Lok Sabha, 3. The Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, 4. The Chairman of Rajya Sabha, 183. What should be the gap between first no confidence motion and second no confidence motion? 1. 2 months, 2. 3 months, 3. 6 months, 4. 9 months, 184. Which one of the following appointments is not within the purview of the President of India? 1. Chief Justice of India, 2. Chairman, Finance Commission, 3. Chief of Army Staff, 4. Speaker of Lok Sabha, held on, 185. The expenditure made on which of the following does not require budgetary approval every year in India? 1. Defense, 2. Natural calamities, 3. Consolidated Fund, 4. Contingency Fund, 186. How many persons can be nominated by the President to the Rajya Sabha from among those who have distinguished themselves in art, literature, social service etc.? 1. 4, 2, 8, 3, 12, 4, none of the above, 187. In which of the parliamentary financial committees is the Rajya Sabha not represented? 1. Public Accounts Committee, 2. Estimates Committee, 3. Committee on Public Undertakings, 4. Expenditure Committee, 188. The members of Rajya Sabha are elected for a term of 1. 2 years, 2. 4 years, 3. 6 years, 4. 5 years, 189. Which of the following does not come under legislative control over administration? 1. 0 hour, 2. Adjournment motion, 3. Budget session, 4. Formulation of a bill, 190. From which fund can the unanticipated expenditure be met without the prior approval of the Parliament? 1. Consolidated Fund of India, 2. Contingency Fund of India, 3. Vote on account, 4. From the Treasury, 191. One of the important attributes of parliamentary form of government is, 1. Fixed tenure for the executive, 2. Executive is answerable to the people, 3. Executive is separate from the legislature, 4. Collective responsibility of Council of Ministers to the Parliament, 192. The Parliament and the Constitution are the instruments of, 1. Legal justice, 2. Political justice, 3. Economic justice, 4. Social justice, 193. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the 1. President, 2. Prime Minister, 3. Lok Sabha, 4. Rajya Sabha, 194. 0 hour in the working of the Indian Parliament means, 1. Hour before the question hour, 2. The first hour of the session, 3. Interval between question hour and next agenda, 4. When privilege motion is accepted, held on, 195. In which year was the House of the People named as Lok Sabha? 1. 1954, 8. 1964, 3. 1974, 4. 1984, 196. Nomination of Rajya Sabha members by the President was taken from the Constitution of 1. USA, 2. Ireland, 3. South Africa, 4. France, 197. Which of the following items is under the state list? 1. Agriculture, 2. Criminal law, 3. Education, 4. Defense, 198. If the Prime Minister of India submits his resignation to the President, it will mean the resignation of the 1. Prime Minister only, 2. Prime Minister and the Cabinet Ministers, 3. Entire Council of Ministers, 4. Prime Minister, Cabinet Ministers and the Speaker, 199. 0 hour is at the discretion of 1. Prime Minister, 2. Speaker, 3. Opposition Leader, 4. President, 200. The President of India can issue a proclamation of national emergency only on the written recommendation of 1. The Prime Minister, 2. The Cabinet consisting of only Cabinet Ministers of the Union, 3. The Council of Ministers of the Union, 4. Parliament, 2.
Sun Judges Adi பொது அறிவு சேனலை பார்த்த அனைவருக்கும் நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றோம். அடுத்த வீடியோவில் சந்திப்போம்.